Introduction: The Quiet War Under the Surface. Thursday's General Hospital episode is not about explosions or public confrontations. It is about avoidance, pressure, and secrets moving quietly between people who know exactly how dangerous the truth can be. On the surface, characters are talking, investigating, and doing their jobs. Underneath, alliances are shifting and lines are being crossed that cannot be uncrossed. The central question tying all of this together is simple but heavy. Who is willing to sacrifice whom to protect their own blood, power, or freedom? From Sonny trying to shield Michael, to Dante being forced into an impossible role, to Nina quietly choosing her daughter over morality. This episode is about how far people are willing to go when the stakes become personal. Let's break it all down. Turner versus Sonny. Avoidance is a strategy. Turner possibly does not want to speak with Sonny at all, and that detail matters more than it first appears. Turner already knows why Sonny is coming. Sonny is not there to negotiate territory or power. He is there to protect Michael, and from Turner's perspective, that alone makes Sonny a problem. Avoidance, in this case, is not fear. It is control. Turner likely understands that once he engages Sonny directly, the situation becomes emotional, unpredictable, and harder to steer. Sonny's reputation is built on personal loyalty, not legal leverage. Turner operates in the opposite way. Sonny's goal is clear. He wants Turner to back off Michael. He wants assurances. He wants boundaries. But here's the problem. Sonny is asking, not demanding. That suggests he does not have the leverage he thinks he does. Turner, on the other hand, already holds the upper hand. He does not need to confront Sonny to assert power. He can simply act elsewhere. And that is exactly what he does next. Dante's impossible position, family versus duty. Turner possibly forces Dante into investigating Michael. This is not accidental casting. Turner chooses Dante because it creates pressure from multiple directions at once. Dante is law enforcement. Dante is family. Dante is loyal to Sonny. And Dante is someone Turner can publicly point to and say, "This is by the book." Dante, understandably, does not want this assignment. Investigating Michael means investigating Sonny by extension. It means stepping into family business that has already cost Dante relationships, trust, and peace before. But Dante likely has no choice. Refusal would look suspicious. Pushing back would make Turner push harder. So Dante accepts, even though it places him in a situation that is almost guaranteed to explode. The real tension comes from what Dante does with this assignment. It is not clear whether Dante will confess to Michael that he is being investigated. That would be a career risk. It would also compromise the case. But Dante might choose a middle path. He could warn Michael indirectly. He could advise him to be cautious. He could signal that things are about to get worse. This creates a ticking clock. If Michael or Sonny approaches Dante directly, Dante will be forced to choose between honesty and survival. And no matter which path he chooses, the consequences will follow him. Hypothetically, this investigation is less about Michael's guilt and more about setting a trap around Sonny. Turner is testing loyalty, and Dante is standing right in the middle of it. Britt and Cullum control through threats. Meanwhile, Britt possibly collides with Cullum in a confrontation that reveals a much darker dynamic. Cullum forces Britt to end things with Jason. This is not a request. It is an order. That alone tells us that Britt is not operating freely. She is being managed. And whatever leverage Cullum holds over her is strong enough that she is willing to sacrifice a relationship she clearly does not want to lose. This is not about romance. It is about containment. Jason represents unpredictability. He asks questions. He notices patterns. He does not accept vague explanations. Cullum understands that as long as Britt is close to Jason, control is at risk. So Cullum cuts the line. What makes this more interesting is what Cullum does next. He possibly meets with Brennan, his subordinate, to assign another task. This suggests a layered operation. Britt is only one piece. The question becomes whether Brennan begins to notice inconsistencies. Cullum's behavior may start to reveal that he is not acting alone. Brennan might detect that Cullum is aligned with forces that do not belong in the shadows they claim to serve. If Brennan realizes this, Cullum's entire structure is at risk. Control depends on secrecy. Once subordinates start questioning motives, collapse is inevitable. Jason's suspicions, seeing the strings, not the hands. Jason, unsurprisingly, likely senses that something is wrong. Britt's behavior changes. The timing does not make sense. The explanation is thin. Jason has lived long enough to recognize manipulation when he sees it. He likely concludes that Britt is being controlled by someone else. But here's the problem. Jason has no starting point. No name. No face. No clear enemy. That makes this more dangerous than a direct threat. Jason cannot fight what he cannot see. And Britt ending things for now only deepens that uncertainty. This sets up a slow burn investigation. Jason will watch. He will wait. He will look for patterns. And when he finally identifies the person pulling the strings, the response will be precise and brutal. Hypothetically, Britt's attempt to protect Jason by pushing him away may ultimately make the fallout worse. Secrets always do. Carly, Valentine, and Jocelyn. Secrets across generations. Carly possibly attempts to contact Valentine if he leaves hiding. That alone suggests an alliance that is not meant to be public. Carly does not trust easily. If she is working with Valentine, it is because she believes the risk is justified. But secrecy rarely stays contained, especially when younger eyes are nearby. There is speculation that Jocelyn could accidentally discover Valentine's hiding place. If that happens, the situation becomes volatile immediately. Jocelyn is observant. She is curious, and she does not always understand the full cost of the information she uncovers. The bigger risk is not just the location. It is the alliance itself. If Jocelyn realizes that Carly is working with Valentine behind the scenes, that could shift how she sees her mother. Carly's moral flexibility has always been a point of tension with her children. The most dangerous possibility is Jocelyn sharing this information with Brennan. Not out of malice, but out of misplaced trust. If Brennan receives that intel, the entire covert structure collapses. Or this knowledge remains a secret, a quiet burden that Jocelyn carries, unsure what to do with it. Either way, the information changes her. Nina and Tracy, satisfaction and silence. Nina and Tracy share a conversation that appears almost disturbingly calm. They discuss Drew. Tracy feels satisfied that Drew has suffered a stroke and is now fighting for his life. This is not hidden. Tracy is not pretending to mourn. Nina's reaction is more complicated. She feels relief. Drew likely can no longer manipulate Willow. That alone lifts a weight from Nina's shoulders. But there is something else here. Something unspoken. It is possible that Nina knows more than she is saying. There is speculation that Willow may have injected Drew with poison. If that is true, Nina's silence is not passive. It is a choice. Nina would protect her daughter at any cost, even if that means allowing the world to believe Drew's condition was natural. Even if that means doctors chase the wrong cause. Even if that means someone dies without justice. Hypothetically, Nina's calm is not relief. It is containment. Drew's condition. Medical truth versus narrative. Lucas and Liz continue treating Drew, but the outlook is grim. The official cause is a stroke. Lucas is likely the one who conducted the initial examinations. That puts him in a unique position. If something does not add up medically, Lucas will notice. Symptoms, toxins, irregularities. These things leave traces. The question is whether Lucas realizes that Drew may have been poisoned rather than suffering a spontaneous stroke. If he does, the implications are massive. This becomes a criminal case, not a medical tragedy. But knowledge creates danger. If Lucas knows the truth, he becomes a liability. And if Nina suspects he is close to uncovering it, she may act to suppress that information. This storyline is less about Drew's survival and more about what his condition exposes. Truth has a way of leaking out, even when everyone involved is trying to contain it. Conclusion. Every secret is a weapon. This episode is not about answers. It is about positioning. Sonny is trying to protect Michael, but may already be too late. Turner is applying pressure without ever stepping into the spotlight. Dante is being slowly crushed between duty and blood. Britt is sacrificing love to survive control. Jason is circling an invisible enemy. Carly is playing a dangerous game with Valentine. Jocelyn may stumble into information that changes everything. Nina is choosing her daughter over morality. And Lucas may be standing on the edge of a truth that no one wants revealed. The likely outcome is not immediate collapse, but escalation. Every secret introduced here is a future weapon. Every avoided conversation is a delayed explosion. And when these storylines finally collide, they will not do so quietly.